Welcome back to another episode of Building Sago. To all our new subscribers, right off the bat, I just want to offer a very hearty welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. So another week has come and gone. We were in the midst of a heat bubble here in Eastern Ontario, which makes for pretty short working days in this essentially a greenhouse boat shed. I pretty much had to bail every day around noon when the temps right here inside the boat reach 40 degrees. That's a little over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So anyway, this week is a jumble of jobs. I started painting the drip tray for the air conditioner, and then I made some templates for the hull linings and the forward cabins where the little port lights go. And then I rigged up a water tap in the forepeak to be able to hook up a washdown hose. And then the crowning achievement was at the end of this video when I put some tung oil on our Sapelli mahogany mooring bit, and it's absolutely gorgeous, so you're going to want to stick around to see that. So without any further delay, I'm not sufficiently caffeinated yet, let's get this show on the road.
Well, we're going to get this ball rolling this week, folks, with a little bit of painting, and I'm just mixing up the DeVoe Alkyd epoxy paint, and I'm going to use that to paint the tray for the air conditioner condensate. And this is good paint. I have about half a gallon of it left. I don't think I have enough catalyst to use it all up, but if I have to replace it with something else, it might be with the updated product that they make nowadays. This epoxy paint is an industrial paint. I believe it's used in a lot of offshore installations where they need to protect steel and other metals from seawater, and it's not easy to work with. It's not recommended that it be mixed in small batches like I'm doing. There's a can of catalyst that comes with a gallon of paint, and they recommend to mix up the entire can of paint in one shot. Well, for me, I couldn't paint enough to use a full gallon of paint in one shot, so I did some digging on the internet, and I found out that it has a 9-to-1 mixing ratio. So using the graduated syringes, I mix up enough for about 400 milliliter batch at a time. This paint also has an induction cycle, or an induction period, and you have to wait 20 minutes for the chemistry to get itself working before you can use it. This paint had about 20 warning symbols that it gives off some very nasty chemicals as it cures, and they recommend using a full respirator with organic vapor canisters, and that's what I've got here. Thanks to our friends Ross and Janet for this equipment. It certainly has come in handy. The first two things I learned in the Coast Guard as a deckhand were, one, if it's not moving, paint it, and number two, if it's moving, paint it till it quits moving. This paint is pretty easy to work with. It covers well. It doesn't leave a very nice finish, though. Being an industrial paint, I guess cosmetics aren't really an issue, and in this case it's not going to be an issue at all. I had enough paint from the one batch to do 2 complete coats on this part, which should be sufficient to protect it from any moisture or condensation that comes off the air conditioner. This paint does leave a fairly shiny finish, and once it's fully cured, it cleans up really easily and doesn't seem to stain. And I've subjected it to multiple abuses on other projects, and it's held up really well. So while I was waiting for the paint to cure, I started to make some patterns to make the panels that will cover these portholes, or well, not cover them, but they'll let them in, and work out what kind of insulation I want to put behind them, etc. I've only got about 1.125" that the port lights can penetrate before I would have to figure out some solution to keep them from not mounting properly. The exterior of the Fwd cabin bulkhead is 1/4" marine ply, and it's got right now just one layer of 1708 on it. There will be another layer of 10 ounce goes over it, and then inside will be 3/4 inch of closed cell foam insulation and 1/4" cherry veneer plywood that will finish the same way we've done with the other interior panels. Once I get all the templates made, I'll go and cut out the cherry plywood panels, and Lori's going to put the stain and finish on those sometime next week. This is our sapelli mahogany mooring bit that you saw me make earlier, and I think I was a little premature and started to put a finish on it, but it'll get banged up. I'll just sand it down and refinish it, but I just had to see what it looked like with the tongue oil on it, and it is spectacular. This wood really is a dream to work with and finish. It's just, I don't know, if had I known this, maybe sapelli would have been a choice for our interior rather than cherry, but anyways, I had the piece of wood and I decided to use it. And again, this was, like I said before, this was just, I got up, I thought about it, I made it, what's going on the boat. I hope you're enjoying this little sanding interlude. It was fun. I just do so much sanding anymore. It's just part of life when you build a boat like this, I guess. Now that the sanding's done, you got to get the piece scrupulously clean, and I've already blown it off with compressed air, and here I'm using a tack rag to get the last little bits of dust and detritus off of it before I put the tung oil on. I've used tung oil before on some small jewelry box projects, and it's an amazing product. And I just love the sheen that it gives to the wood. It's just out of this world. Now I did notice that the end grain on the top and in the grooves that I put in the side, it gets darker. I don't know why that is, but it's still beautiful. It was very liberal in the amount I put on. I wasn't quite too sure how the wood would take up the tung oil, but it seemed to lap up whatever I put on it, so I didn't spare any, that's for sure. And I think the end product, when you see it at the end, will prove that maybe that's the way to go. So before the mooring bit is actually installed, it will get 6, 7, or 8 coats of varnish to protect it, and it should just glow. I mean, it's going to be, a signature piece on the front end of the boat. At least it's going to stand out. It's something different, that's for sure. I've been continuing to do little bits of work as time permits on the forepeak section here, and what I'm doing now is I'm putting in some PEX tubing to connect to this faucet for a washdown hose, and that's something we knew we wanted where we travel in the Great Lakes, St. Lawrence River, Rideau Canal, place like that. You're going to pull up a ton of mud and crap on your anchor chain and your anchor, so it's pretty much essential. PEX tubing is pretty easy to work with. It's simple as crap and goes together easily. Unfortunately, I had to tear this all apart and redo it, but that was my own stupid mistake. The other two gray conduits sticking up through the deck that you can see there, they're for the electrical cables for the windlass.
Well, I see you made it to the end. Good for you. You guys are absolute legends. I hope you enjoyed this unsped up episode. It's hard to make a lot of these boring tasks look exciting. I know there are some guys that do it, but I just can't. We're rapidly approaching our goal we set earlier in the year of 1,000 subscribers. We're about 40 away from that, which is pretty good. When we reach that benchmark, we're going to give away a small prize package to one random subscriber. It's not much. Hopefully it shows how much we appreciate each and every one of you coming here to watch our videos every week. So I better get to it. I got lots to do today. So until next week, from Lori and I, please stay healthy, safe, and happy. Cheers.